Sahi, thanks so much for
Sundar.
this conversation. So nice to see you.
Right. Nice
to meet you.
First time, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I think we've been following each other for a while on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's great to see you in person. A lot of firsts today.
Thank
How
you.
have you enjoyed your JamSpot?
It's been crazy, man. I feel like it's been such a well-oiled machine of a day.
Yeah.
Like everyone's in the right place at the right time, and there's so many people just making sure everything's going smoothly. So shout out to the team of JamSpot. You guys are doing great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a fun day.
And it's been good collaborating and seeing other artists and sort of bouncing.
Because I follow so many different artists, especially around London, but I haven't actually met them in person.
Yeah.
And today I met like Prit for the first time in person, like so many other artists that I just didn't have the opportunity to see in real life. But yeah, after following them for so long and seeing them in person, it's crazy because you feel like you know them already because you're in touch with them, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a legend.
No, you're crazy.
You're a young legend.
No,
in terms of your successes, even though you've just started. I think over the last 3 years, you've kind of blown up, right?
Yeah, thank you.
What has your lockdown been like?
So lockdown for me, up until last week, I was still a university student, right? Yeah. So I was doing my master's degree in mechanical engineering. So lockdown for me was just studying. Yeah. Right? It's literally just been the same, watching lectures online, doing coursework, and then exams were from home as well. So lockdown for me was just, there's nothing special. Like it was just sitting at home and doing uni. And then occasionally when I had the time, I'd record a song or like a cover and do that. But now that uni's finished, I feel like summer's going to be a bit busy in terms of music. Just want to make the most of the time,
So you're done school now?
Yeah, done with uni.
What did you study?
Mechanical engineering.
I'm going to do the Tamil part now.
Yeah.
Mechanical
engineering படிச்ச நான் வேலை அதெல்லாம் கேட்க கூடாது அழுவன்.
But you want to do music or do you want to do both?
I think ideally, if you asked me a year before the pandemic, the plan was originally, I got my parents to agree to this as well. It was finish my master's degree and then I asked them for 1 year time to do music full time. And in that 1 year, hypothetically, I would have gone to India and traveled the world and tried to push music to an extent that I wasn't able to before because of uni and other commitments. But now that the pandemic's hit and I feel like the whole traveling aspect and gigs and shows is sort of out of the basket. Yeah. So I feel like what I've told them now is I was like, I'm going to still get a job. I'm going to look for a job and try and for the next 2 years, try and build music up to a level where if I feel like I'm tired of my job and trying to balance two lives, I'll quit the job and then try and do music full time.
Figure out what the balance is.
Exactly, yeah. Nice. So I don't want to be irresponsible because I feel like for my parents' sake, they don't want me to feel like pressured when it comes to being financially stable and stuff like that. So because I've got the degree, I feel like it makes sense for me to try and get a job now, but also take music as well. And then when I'm ready, maybe take music full time.
Was that a difficult conversation to have? It
was. Yeah. I feel like any Asian Tamil parents, for them, it's doctor, engineer. That's all they know, right? Yeah. But I feel like it was very difficult essentially when I first told them, which was like when I just got signed to the label. But I feel like since they've been following my journey and they realized that it's so much bigger than him just going to the odd wedding and singing there. It's so much bigger than that now. I feel like for them, it's like, okay, we have to let him see what he can do with it. And I feel like my parents have sort of come to terms with that now. Yeah. So shout out to them.
Nice. And your label, or you joined the label, Oru Nation.
Oru Nation, yeah.
And that was in 2018?
That was 2018, yeah.
Nice.
It's been 2.5, 3 years almost.
How has that helped you in terms of your musical career and changing?
Literally, it's the biggest blessing because it turned my hobby and something that I just did for fun into a potential career path. Yeah. And I don't think anything gets bigger than that for me in the sense that like having the guidance of MC Sai and like having like people like Rati Adityan and like Flames, their support as like brothers in music, but also in terms of like a financial and also like a business mindset as well. It makes you realize that this is not a joke anymore. It's like you can have fun, but also make the most out of it as well in terms of like, building a career. Yeah. So having someone like MC Sai who's done it before and now he's paving the way for me, it's made my life so much easier, just from everything. Yeah,
I mean, it's always hard balancing sort of the creative aspect as well as the business aspect.
Yeah, obviously, because like imagine if I didn't have the label, it would be me managing my bookings, me managing my tours. I don't think I would have done a great job of it because for me as an artist, I just want to focus on making the music, and then shooting the videos. But when you have like a support system such as a label and a management, there's your 100% of your focus is on the creative aspect of things. You don't need to focus about admin and all of that stuff. So it really is a blessing.
Yeah. Gigs, in-person gigs. How are you feeling not doing that? Does it
Yeah,
feel like
it
a big
was-
part of your life is
It was
on
it was
hold?
weird. I feel like because there was a point initially where every month or every couple weeks there was a gig somewhere in Europe,
Yeah.
and then we'd do like whenever there was a gig in Malaysia or something like that, we'll take a whole 2 week out of my like university and holiday, and then we'll like tour Malaysia for a bit as well. So when you go from that on like a monthly basis to now for the last year just sitting at home watching old videos of you doing gigs and stuff like it's kind of heartbreaking. And I think nowadays things are starting to open up, right? So I did have a gig the other day. I performed at one of my close friends' wedding.
Nice.
And I did feel a bit rusty in the sense that like, because like you haven't had that response in such a long time. So it takes a few minutes to get into that swing of things and trying to get that audience interaction and stuff like that.
It's hard even talking to people in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, after going from one extreme to then the other extreme and then going back to the other extreme.
How do I go to a pub and talk to people?
It's like, what language are you speaking? It doesn't work, right? But I feel like once 1 or 2 gigs down and then I sort of get back into that stride of things, it will become so much more easier. Because that is the best part of it. You know, when people are singing your songs back to you, people want to talk to you, want to like get to know you, like the song. So for them, it's like they're artists and they listen to their songs. They want to meet the person. So it's a completely different environment.
Yeah.
I thrive off of it. I love it so much. It gives me so much like appreciation, you know.
Talk to me about your musical journey. How did it start? How long you learned music when you were a kid? What happened? Yeah.
So I initially started by learning Carnatic Sangeetam and Mirdangam. So I started that when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And that was something that I didn't even ask. It was just, I went to Tamil school and then they taught it there.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, you have to learn Sangeetam Mirdangam. And she sent me there. I remember I cried at my first Mirdangam lesson because I didn't want to go along. Yeah. So my mum dragged my little cousin along with me and then we both started learning Mirdangam together. So up until like the age of 15, 16, it was just learning Mirdangam Sangeetam for the fun of it. Then I think it was for my mum's birthday or something. Me and my sisters were like, yo, let's make a song for mum's birthday. And I had like a guitar lying around in my house that I was just like self-teaching. So I picked up the guitar and then I wrote a song for my mum's birthday. And then that was the first ever song that I ever wrote, which was when I was 15. And then after that, slowly, but not consciously, it was one of those things that I just realized I can compose melodies, I can write lyrics. And I just started for the fun of it, started writing songs. Yeah. And then I did my Arangetam when I was 18. And I think when I first started realizing, okay, like this is something quite serious, was when I started performing at uni shows. So stuff like Mega Male and like TDC dance competition and stuff like that. I started performing and then I like got the chance to perform in front of Anirudh and like Kala Master and like those sort of people. And then it was that year that I started writing my own songs properly. So Ciroc song I actually wrote in the first year of university when I was 18 with my friends.
Drinking a lot of Ciroc.
On the road. Inspiration has to come from somewhere, right? So that's how that song came about. And then I think when it became like a take a left, you go on a career of music, or take a right way, it's just like still just like a hobby, was when Sai recognized one of my videos of me performing at TDC. And at that point I'd written a song that I felt like it needed like a rap portion. So me being the little inexperienced, immature little kid that I was, I just DM'd him on Instagram saying, hey bro, not knowing how feature tracks work.
Never met him.
Not knowing how like the whole Spotify distribution, YouTube, all of that revenue stuff worked. I just messaged him saying, hey bro, I've got a song, I would really appreciate if you could do a rap verse for it. Yeah. Just like, when I go back, I just cringed at the way that I did it, right? But thankfully he really liked my music at that time. So he had seen my covers and stuff. And for him, what stood out was it's not just about singing covers, but I started writing my own lyrics and performing my own stuff, like original stuff. And that's when he was like, that's what sets you out. And he listened to the song that I sent to him. He really liked it. And then he was like, I'm going to do one more better. I want you to come under my label. At that point, Oru Nation was still in the works. Yeah. So it was just him and Rati, but they still hadn't announced to the world that they're, out. Yeah. So he was like, I want you to be the third and final artist for the label. And
so that was really early.
It was I think I was 18. No, that's a lie. I was 19, 20, around about that age. I was on a placement year at Jaguar Land Rover. And so that's when I was like, okay, let me take a step back from education and try writing more songs. And then that's when he came to me. And then even when he asked me, like, I did want to say yes straight away, but I knew that it's not a decision that I can just lightly make. So I asked him for 2 weeks off. I was like, can you give me 2 weeks to make a decision? And that 2 weeks was probably the most stressful 2 weeks of my life. Really? I was like, okay, I need to get my parents' permission to do this because I don't want to start it and then them to be like, what the hell are you doing? And then cause all sorts of issues, right? Yeah. So going back to my parents, I was like, I sat them down and I was like, listen, this is opportunity, signed to a label, take music seriously. And they were just like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, படிப்பை முடிச்சிட்டு வேலை எடுக்கிற வழியை பாரு, இல்லை போய் பாட்டு கேட்டு இருந்தா, because they were confused, right? Because they didn't understand what a label was, what you can do with music, you know, the whole traveling aspect of it and all of that. But then, thankfully, I got my friends and my family to convince them as well. And once they had given me the green light, went back to Sai and I said, yep, I would like to be a part of Oru Nation. And then 3 years later, we're here.
Nice. Where did you grew up in East London?
East London, mate.
East side, mate.
East London.
Is that Essex? No.
Yeah, Essex. Yeah,
Essex.
As in like Essex, but not like the really Essex.
Not really Essex, but you call it Essex.
Like, yeah.
See, this is the most confusing thing about it.
Because Essex comes outside of London as well. I think part of it. So I'm like within the London part of Essex.
But there's an actual place called Essex too.
So Essex is the county. Yeah.
Oh, it's the whole county.
Yeah.
See, like
county and about Manilam, I think. In Tamil,
okay. Yeah.
You know, the thing Sri Lanka, you hear the Munda Mataram, Nala Mataram, all of that. It goes over my head. It's like, what the hell is a Mataram, you know?
And they're all like close by.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, like, that's like a 5-minute walk, but chill.
And then you go Veli, Adutha Veli. I'm like, it's in a Veli. Kannamudi Kannadurga, mom's story is funny.
Yeah. So how is it growing up in East London? How much like Tamil influence? Are there any other influences in
East
your life?
London is a very Asian heavy area.
Yeah.
So it's so Asian heavy that I went to an all-boys school, a grammar school, and within my year of 120 students, there was no white students.
Really?
Yeah, literally. So I think if I'm not mistaken, there was like 3 black guys, 2 Chinese, and the rest were just Asian, like Indian,
like brown,
Tamil, brown, And so heavily Asian based development. And that was part of, as in, because my parents were both Tamil school teachers and I had a lot of family that lived nearby as well. Like my childhood was very Tamil in the sense that, you know, like Tamil school every Friday evening, kids will come over to our house to learn Tamil. You had the whole like sports days, Tamil sports days and stuff like that. Like it was unlike, you know, the Koil Teriyal, all of that stuff. And it's not just being surrounded by it, it's because my parents would actively expose me to it as well. So from the age of like 5, I was doing like Tirukural Poti, Peju Poti, and like like mom would drag us to all of those things. And at that age, like you're not really going to complain because like you don't know any better. But then when you look back at it now, I'm so grateful for that stuff, man. Because like that did wonders for my like language, confidence, and just like my music is heavily inspired by all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like if I was born and raised in any other part of the world, I don't think it would have turned out like this.
Maybe in Scarborough.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like the command of language that you're talking about like only happens in that environment.
Right, yeah.
Like you can learn Tamil, but you only really learn when you speak it, you hear people speak it, and like, you know,
exactly.
And then like you get those words and the things that come up.
And the thing is, like when I went back home to like Ilenga and stuff like that to visit like family and stuff like that with my family, they were shocked to see like வெளிநாட்டுல பிறந்து வளர்ந்த பிள்ளைகள் வந்து இப்படி தமிழ் கதைக்கிறது. Like for me it kind of got annoying to an extent because like they have this prejudice of how they expect you to be. You know, they expect you to be so whitewashed, speak like a வெள்ளக்காரன் and be like, Amma, I don't want that, all of that stuff. That's literally how they expect you to be. So when you go there and you can converse on a level that's like par with them, I feel like it makes them uncomfortable. And they literally like they hold such like a reservation of you before you start talking, and then once you start talking they're like, whoa,
it's a bias.
Did not see that coming. And it is kind of a satisfying feeling though when they don't expect you to know Tamil and then you start Tamil and then they're like, oh, Tamil கதைப்பீங்களா? I'm like, நல்லா கதைப்போம். பாட்டே பாடுவோம். It's so funny, man.
I heard this fact about you.
Okay.
That you eat kotroti with ketchup.
Yes. I am an advocate of kotroti and ketchup. Like, do it. You will not regret it.
We have kotroti today. I don't have it with me, but we're definitely trying this.
Off camera, I'll get ketchup from the corner shop and then we'll try. Do you know why it works? Yeah. It's
why?
Because,
okay. How did you come about this?
So I love ketchup in the sense that I have ketchup with everything. So I used to do this thing where, you know, when there's like no real like proper food at home, but you can't be asked to like order anything. So what I used to do was, you know, like bread. Like white bread, put ketchup on it, and then like grated cheese, and then you basically like homemade pizza, right? So I started this back when I was like 9, 10.
You were the original person to do that.
No one's ever done it before. And now I see it on TikTok. Like, I started that shit. Anyway, so I used to put ketchup on everything, and then it got to a point where like kotroti nowadays that you get is very spicy. Like, it's not that I don't eat spice; it's just like sometimes my body can't hack it. So when my family orders spicy kotroti, I'm like, instead of taking the chilies, I just put like something sweet to make it not as spicy.
Yeah.
And I put ketchup in it one day and it banged. And like, ever since then, never looked back. Like, honestly, guys, for everyone that's just sitting there like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Just try it and then you will not be disappointed. I've had so many friends come up to me and be like, yo, this is like elite level stuff, you know?
Yeah. I've heard ketchup with mutton rolls.
Yeah, so if that works, by the same logic, ketchup and kotroti should work, right? What, like the constituent ingredients of mutton rolls and kotroti is exactly the same. It's roti, mutton, and like breadcrumbs and like other shit, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's the same formula, just a different way of looking at it.
On the topic of food, you said ketchup and kotroti.
Yes, I did.
Appalam or pappadam?
Oof. I've heard both. But what do I say at home? If I was eating food with mom, appadam.
Appadam.
Yeah. I think, well, that's completely different. That's both fused together. Appadam. That's a mix. Because appalam or pappadam. I feel like the word needs like a harsh D sound somewhere because it crunches when you eat it, right? Yeah. So it makes so much more sense. Appalam makes it sound like payasam, you know? Appalam is like very soft and...
It needs a D. It needs a D. It's crunchy.
Crunchy, yeah. It's like appadam. Like, I don't know, my brain works in a weird way, but for me that makes sense.
When you joined Oru Nation, you were kind of new in your career. I mean, you didn't really have anything out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sahi took a chance on you. How did that feel, and what is your advice to young people who are trying to get into music or want to do more music?
Honestly, at the time, it was very like, I was kind of like shocked in the sense that like, for example, he took Ratti on board Oru Nation, and at that point, Ratti had still released some songs, so he was sort of established to an extent. But from his point of view, I was still just a kid on stage, just playing with his guitar and singing cover songs, right? So to this day, I still like, I know for a fact that I owe him the world because he saw something in me before anyone else did, you know, and like to take a chance on someone, it's a like, if you look at it now, we formed 3 years ago and it's still just been us three in the label, you know, like touch wood, but no one's like left and no one's sort of like been added in because it works as a formula. So he clearly saw something at that time to think, okay, I want this kid, you know, under the label, right? And I think for future kids who are sort of like aspiring to become musicians and stuff like that as well, I think my advice to them would be like, it will happen. Your big break will happen as long as you keep working on yourself and ensuring that quality comes over quantity. And my mom would say, like that. So you shouldn't just release something for the sake of it. Release it and then honestly ask your friends for their honest feedback, ask other people for their honest feedback. And unless you're 100% happy with the song and you feel like it represents yourself in a very positive and good light, then don't release it if you're not ready for it, you know? And it will happen. Like things will fall in place if you put the work in and you have the faith. Yeah.
And you write all of your music.
Yeah. So I write all of my lyrics and all of my... So anything that I work on myself, I would have written the lyrics for that.
Nice. And what is your writing process like? How do you know what to write about? What are you inspired by? That's a lot of questions.
No, I get this question a lot because people ask me on Instagram as well, like, how do I write? It's not a set formula. It's one of those things where sometimes I'll write the song before I write the melody. Sometimes I'll write the melody and then I'll write the lyrics afterwards. Sometimes they both form together. For example, Sirok, they both came at the same time. Whereas something else like another song like NKP, for example, I had the melody in my head while I was listening to Ratti's original song. And then I was like, okay, let me try and write a story based on it. And with my lyrics, I imagine it as a story. So I'll know the bigger picture and what sort of message I'm trying to portray across. And then I would base it on that. So for example, if off the top of my head, like Naan Kudi Kapuran, for example, Ratti had done his chorus. So he had given me the Naan Kudi Kapuran and he was just like to me, write whatever comes to you. So when I listened to that song, how I imagined it, the story that I imagined was a group of guys going to like a bar or something like that. And then
or a parking lot.
Whatever. And it's a Friday night because that is the holy day for drinking. And he sees a girl that he likes or whatever, and he's literally trying to call the girl, right? He's literally trying to persuade her, come talk to me, blah, blah. So hence the whole, that whole, it flows like a story. And that's how my lyrics sort of form for me. Like,
So you're always trying to tell a story through.
Yeah, but then there's some songs that you can't really tell a story with.
Yeah.
But in that sense, it would be more like, okay, let me just like describe a situation that I've been in, or describe like a context, and it forms from that. I feel like I'm fortunate because my parents were both Tamil teachers, so it's like the Tamil language isn't foreign to me in the sense that like sometimes I think in Tamil, it's not really like I'm translating from English to Tamil,
right?
But other times it both work in a sense. So
what do your parents critique your Tamil? And,
there was actually a thing where when I released my first ever songs, like I think my dad didn't believe that I actually wrote these lyrics myself. Like he was like, "No, you didn't. Why you lied to me?" And it got after like my second or third song. He was like, "Oh, okay." Like he would sometimes listen. I'll be recording in my thing, and I'll just be sitting there like, "Okay, try new words and try new phrases," and then he'll be listening from his room, and he'll be like, no, adu pidikala, mattadu nalla irukku. Like he'll be listening, but I feel like with my parents, they would never openly just be like, "That was very good," or anything like that. They're very like,
like every other Tamil parent.
They'll be like,
parvala.
Anybody was saying, like my mom still doesn't like some of the songs that I released, because for her it's like she's a very like, why you always sing love songs? This that. But she doesn't realize that love songs is what people sing about. You know, like people want to listen to it. She's like, "Why are you singing sad songs?" I'm like, "Mom, I'm sad. Let me try sad." Like she doesn't get it like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think mum and dad are quite impressed, especially for them. It's just like, okay, this is a kid that was born really not there, and then he learned Tamil through Tamil school and stuff like that, and he's writing his own songs. So for them, it's sort of just like, okay, like that's good, keep it up. Else by now they would have made me stop.
Yeah,
you know, if they weren't a fan of it.
And your genres are so all over the place. Like your album Veeran was in 2019, right? Yeah, 2019. And it's you have sad songs in there. You have love songs. You have a song about your mom, a lullaby, which is my fucking favorite song. I always like listening to other songs. I'm like, can we put an audio? It's like, that's not the vibe at this party.
Exactly. Why would you play that?
Why would you play this at a party? I'm like, that's my favorite song. Why wouldn't we? But yeah, I mean, I'm weird. But
it works.
So like the genres are all over the place. Like, how do you like? What do you see? Do you think you're going to continue to do that? Do a little bit of everything,
definitely.
Or what do you think?
I feel like it's not about me. The last thing I want to be known for is a guy that just sings Ghana songs, or a guy that just sings love songs. Yeah. As in, I write songs based on the mood that I'm feeling, right? 9 times out of 10. Yeah. And one day I might be feeling like a love song. The next day I might be feeling like a Ghana song. Like for me, it's like, I feel like the strength of my music comes from its versatility, in a sense, like, because I don't see myself just as a singer. Like I want to be known as a music producer and stuff like that. And like, when you look at all of the big like music producer, A. Rahman, Anirudh and stuff like that, they can work with any genre. You know, they work with any emotion, any theme. And even if I'm not singing the song, I want to be able to compose a song that can adapt to any situation. And I feel like by that, I'm always outside my comfort zone. And like, for example, like let's say Rock and NKP, they're very party type vibes, and they're probably my two most favorite popular songs, right? Yeah. That doesn't mean that every song that I do has to be in that genre, because even if people like it, I will get bored of it in the sense. And I think that's the worst thing that I want to be doing. I don't want to get bored of my own music, right?
I always find this really interesting with musical creatives in particular. They put out music that is, the hit songs or the things that people want to hear, and that's kind of their bread and butter. But then the projects that really feel them,
it is very different. So for me, like Ciroc and NKP, they are my most popular songs to date, but they are not my most favorite songs.
What are your favorite?
Like
songs?
For me, my hand to heart, my favorite songs right now. I have my moments. Like sometimes it comes and goes, but probably Nidane would be one of my favorite songs, and like We Theatre, my most recent one, would probably be up there as well. And for me, it's just like, obviously they're my most recent songs as well, but it's like I really enjoyed the process of making those songs. I think maybe because I produced those songs myself, in the sense that I did the music and recordings and everything myself, so it's a bit more intimate to me because I was there from every single building. But whereas something like Ciroc and NKP, there were other producers involved, so that did the music, and like maybe that's the reason. But it's never, for me, it's never my most popular song that's my favorite song, because you kind of get sick of it after a while as well, man.
Were those lockdown babies? Those two?
Yeah, so Nidane and We Did It were lockdown.
Yeah. And you did all of it.
Yeah, basically. So I literally did all of it from my bedroom.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be doing more of that?
Yeah, because that's my element, in the sense that that's where I'm most comfortable. And it would be ideal if I had like we've got our Oru Nation studio now, but even that for me is kind of like an hour drive and stuff like that. Whereas if I'm just in my room, I've got like a mic set up, I've got my keyboard and everything, and it's just like if I have an idea, I'll record it on my phone, and then quickly I'll just be like, you know what, let's just do it like a song, and then we'll come up with it like that, you know. And before you lose that spark, I'm able to record it so quickly. And then if I need to like re-record vocals properly and clean it and all of that stuff, then you go into a proper studio and stuff like that. But when it comes to the immediate process of getting idea down, pen to paper, it's always ideally within my bedroom, which is where I'm most comfortable.
Amazing. And the cover you did today is incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. For the first time. Is that a special song to you? Did you choose that song? Or, yeah. And how has this JamSpot process been for you in terms of recording, working with Piri, working with the team, and coming up with this music?
Honestly, if I was to be 100% honest, at first I had my reservations because I'm so comfortable working by myself, and I'm working like, if I was to like do a song that I'm releasing, I'm so comfortable working from my bedroom, you know, doing the music myself, recording it myself, etc., etc. So being told that we need to go to Piri's studio to record, and like Piri's the one producing it, Piri's the one mixing and mastering it, it was a bit like, at first I was like, can I take control of it a bit more? But I feel like that's natural for anyone who's come from a style where I came from. But honestly, from the moment that I walked into Piri's studio, it was literally just vibes. I don't think I understand. There was like 6 of us in that studio. No, there were 7 of us within that studio space.
Breaking the rules, but go on.
Yeah, breaking the rules. No, we'll beep that out.
We'll redo that.
And I think Piri would say ours was probably the most difficult to record in terms of like length of time. It took us, I think, 23 hours to record the whole thing, because we wanted to be very different. We were like, you know what, let's record it like a orchestral style. Let's get 3 live violins. And at first when we planned it, we were like, yeah, not a problem whatsoever. And then once you started recording, you realize there's so many issues and how difficult it is, right? We actually recorded my vocals last because we wanted to perfect the whole violin and instrumental and stuff like that. And even now, I still haven't heard the final mix and mastered version. But even with the pre-mix that we had now on set, it just it's starting to feel like all the hours that we put in is finally coming to fruition, and I feel like it's going to be a very good track in the sense that I feel like it'll be something that I'm definitely proud of, and I hope that people that listen to it can understand how much work we put into it.
I think so. I think it's going to be one of the ones that you put on the playlist, like, hopefully, all the time. I think all of the JamSpot ones are going to do very well.
I've heard some of the other ones, and honestly, like, I was blown back. Like, some of us, all of them are very good in their own individual. And what I like about it is, like, no 2 are the same in the sense that each one is a distinct style, and each artist is allowed to showcase their element in their own way. And you have the supporting instrumentals, and you have Piri, who's accommodated all of this. And like, honestly, huge shout out to Piri, because it's not easy. First of all, people management, you know, managing that many people and like recording that many people, and like, it's very difficult recording a flute and then recording a violin and then recording like a piano. It's a completely different ball game, right? And I think he's learned so much from this process as well. And so huge shout out to Piri. And also just the people that were chosen for this project as well, they're all like top tier people, you know, like they're all people that I feel like after this JamSpot opportunity would genuinely open doors for them, and hopefully they can do more and more stuff.
Everybody's at a different stage in their musical career too, like, which is a good spread.
There's some people that just do it for fun. There's some people that are like actually aspiring musicians and stuff like that, and to have them all on a level platform, producing beautiful music, it's very difficult to come by nowadays, and that can only be done by an initiative such as JamSpot, right?
For sure. Amazing. I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Sundar. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Hope this JamSpot, I think your video is going to do very well.
No, I hope so.
I've been saying that to everybody, but I think yours is going to do particularly well.
Honestly, I feel like the whole JamSpot initiative, it's going to be a game changer, and I feel like it's going to put a lot of people that are sort of hidden in the spotlight, and I just wish it all the best, and I hope it grows more and more with every season.
Thank you, Sahi.
Thank you, guys.
That's it. Cut.